Bam. We're live 20 seconds early. My feet are cold. Travis Bellinghausen. Let's go. $5. $5. Apparently, Matt O'Keefe is the new CEO of CrossFit Inc.
Wait, really?
No, that's just made up. Wouldn't that be fucking great?
You heard it here first, in case it actually happens.
As I walked in here, my wife gave me 2 pieces of advice. She's like, "Hey, don't be mean." I said, "Okay." And she's like, "And if you think you're being chill, be even more chill." I'm like, all right. But I'm giddy as a fucking. Okay, so what do we know? What do we know? What do we know? What do we know? We know that we were misled from day one. We were presented that this gentleman who loved CrossFit was going to come in and buy CrossFit Inc. and save it from the racist Greg Glassman. And what we know is that Floyd 19 had nothing to do with racism. It was actually the exact opposite. We know that Greg Glassman believed in the 5 buckets of death, which he gave us, and he was leading us to just at least to persevere and pursue a perception that was truthful and honest to the best of our ability. But I think that Greg got a little tired of the fight and he sold, and they laughed at him when he sold the company behind his back. I don't know if everyone on the board, but people at the board thought that the massive amount of money that they gave Greg to purchase CrossFit Inc., they were laughing like they stole it from him. Like oh, we pulled one over on that guy. And lo and behold, it ended up not being Eric Roza who purchased CrossFit Inc. like we were manipulated and told. To say we were lied to is a little strong, but they made it seem like, hey, this guy was coming in. He's a rich guy from Oracle and he was buying it. And that's would be a total mischaracterization of what happened. And it was a lie. So and then we know that since there are investors, Greg was not, this company was a company where the product was, as Greg Glassman said, when he put his arm around Jason Cleveland in 2008, he said, this is the product. And it's very obvious and very clear that to me, that the people who purchase CrossFit Inc. They don't know what they bought, but we don't know who the owners are, so we don't know why they bought it. Did they buy it to destroy it? Did they buy it to make money? We don't know what their true intention is. But either way, they thought they were buying Harley Davidson, but they were buying the Hells Angels. There's a huge difference. Harley Davidson's a motorcycle manufacturing plant, and Hells Angels is a activist group, right? Whatever they do, I don't know if they help little kids or deliver meth around the country. I don't know exactly what they do.
It's very diverse.
But they're different. They're different. We could even use Greenpeace. They thought Greenpeace was a whale watching tour group that they bought, and it's not. It's the exact opposite. It goes in. It's a dangerous place to be. It's not a place to go watch whales. It's to attack Japanese whaling boats. And they're still confused to this day. And I understand why they're confused, because it takes a long time to get your head wrapped around it. CrossFit's just selling personal responsibility and personal accountability based on Greg's knowledge of what what movements and diet optimizes the human genome, human DNA, allows it to express itself in its finest form, so that you end up looking like me. And so Eric comes in, we're misled. A board comes in, they have a fiduciary duty, I presume, to make money, totally different than what Greg is doing. They don't know what they bought. From what they say, they think this is the CrossFit Games. They're as dumb as most of you guys. You guys are so confused. It's and I understand the stupidity. I give most of you a pass on it. It's like looking at Matt Souza and thinking he is that on what you see on the outside, when 99% of them is fucking blood and guts and poop and veins and muscles and tendons and ligaments. And I understand how you see it wrong, because you're just looking at the outside. But with a fucking pocket knife in 5 minutes, I could show you Souza is not fucking what you think he is. I just have to cut him open and splay out all the shit on the inside. And that's what's happened with CrossFit Inc. That it looks so fucking different on the outside than what it really is. It's a perfect metaphor. So then this guy runs he they stay along the same path that Greg had fucked up with the company in the last 2 years, and that dumb fuck CEO he had hired. They don't rebuild the media team, and they really needed to do that. And of course, I'm biased as fuck. And they don't do that, and they go down this road, and there's the gym closures, and they believe the fucking mental psychosis of the pandemic, the lies around that, like there's something scary here and people are going to be dying. And what's even more bizarre that a company like this would believe that, when this company has been for the last 15 years built on the premise that Greg Glassman warned us that the tsunami of chronic disease is coming. And literally it was here, and it is here. And instead of this company speaking up, being like, thank God we're all prepared, it delved in deeper to all the political nonsense. It embraced, because they're woke. You have to understand that everyone who works there is woke as fuck. And when I mean everyone, I mean like more than 50%. They're woke as fuck, and they're scared, and they just want to do anything. They want to, like, they're riding the wave of popular opinion in order to try to make money. So, excuse me. So that now they're doing this, and they build DEI teams, and they let gyms close, and they run to the government for money to try to save their gyms. This is all nothing that the Hells Angels do, by the way. This is what Harley Davidson does. And they end up in a situation where they can't manage the team. Well, first of all, once Greg left, even prior to Greg left, I'll be completely honest with you, the soul of the company was rotting. Like, we went from a company where everyone was really stoked to work there to, like, people were hating it. And then when Greg sold the company, it had like a momentary like up, but it wasn't a good up. By that, I mean, you guys were eating a bale of cotton candy and you were having a momentary sugar high, but you were going to pay the price for it. And that's what that's what Roza was. It's like going and eating a whole pizza. That 40 minutes that you're eating the pizza is great, but everything after that's downhill. And that's what we've been in the last year and a half, 2 years. And basically you have to think of CrossFit Inc. as a, someone asked me, are you happy that Roza's gone? Are you happy that maybe you played a part in it? Are you happy that, and really, I want to be completely transparent on how I think of the situation. Imagine, like when you build a sandcastle at the beach, Souza, and the tide's coming up, and after you spent like an hour building it, the tide starts hitting it and like breaking it to pieces. That's what's happening to CrossFit Inc. It is that sandcastle that you built too close and the water's coming up and getting it. And I'm the bratty kid who went over there and started stomping on it. And like, it's not cool. And it's not healthy. Like, I should just chill like a mature adult, sit back in my beach chair, crack a beer, and just watch the ocean slowly pull the sandcastle away. But I've run down there with my fucking shovel and been banging on it. So
yeah, well, when you work on it for 15 years, maybe you get that right a little bit.
Remember Sevon's rant about clickbait and half the video going by before any answers came out? Me too. It's a hashtag. Me too. It's hashtag. So we that there's nothing more, guys. Listen, Emma, I'm gonna do you a huge favor. You should log off right now, because I said everything I needed to say in the title. The rest of this is just clickbait. This is you guys just hoping I'm gonna give you some fucking insight that I don't have. So you can all log off now. Bye bye. I already told you. Rose is gone. Bye bye. That's it. There's nothing more. You can go.
That's it. So what's gonna happen next, though? We have to know.
Yeah, the rest. This is just bullshit speculation. Now I just want you guys to just pile in so I can make money to pay for my kids' jiu-jitsu. I've already told you.
Maybe we could clear a couple things up, going back to what you said before, is like, we weren't necessarily lied to, but we were told a partial truth. Right?
I'm going to get to it. Yes. So then this guy Roza, so they don't build back the media team. And then this guy Roza, claims mental health issues, and he's gone for 2 months. And then he comes back and he fires Dave. And when he fires Dave, there's a huge backlash from the community. And now a month later, 2 weeks later, he gets fired. I want to read you what they sent to their team. You guys want to hear that?
Yeah, let's start with the facts before the speculation.
Okay. I'm so fucking cold that my voice is a little shaky.
Yeah, I'm freezing too, and I can't turn on the heater because it's gonna sound weird on the mic.
I have the heat on. This is from Eric. This came this morning at 7 a.m. this morning. You guys ready for this? This came from Eric Roza. It says, team, I have loved CrossFit since the day I was introduced to it 12 years ago, and it has changed my life. When I saw the company was in trouble in the summer of 2020, I came out of retirement to help get things back in the right place. That's a lie. That's the presuppositions. That's that's not even, I mean, that's not exactly how it went down. That's more mischaracterization. Nothing can be believed from these guys, by the way. Remember, this is the guy who wanted to fire Dave, but have it be on mutual terms because that was the professional way. So anytime you hear the word professional, you should know that from these guys, that means lying. They defined it, not me. They defined it. They just said it was tantamount to lying, professional lying. Okay. My plan from the beginning was to set an ambitious vision, assemble the right team of executives to achieve it, then step into the chairman role on the board after 3 years or so. That I don't know if that's true, but that's not what he said to me and in the employees that I was in the room with when he started. That is not what he said at all. So he was either lying then or he's lying now. During my recent time away, and in subsequent discussions with the board and our senior team over the past week, I've decided to accelerate that timetable. So he's saying during my recent time, meaning since he said he's a quackadoodle, he has mental health issues, and subsequent discussion, meaning he fired Dave and what you guys post on Instagram, because we know that affects him. With the board, our senior team. It's true. I'm not lying. And I don't want to hear those of you who are like, hey, it's not nice to make fun of him. I'm not making fun of him for his mental health issues. I'm making fun of you guys that you think it's okay to sit on an airplane and be more concerned about the pilot when the pilot says he has mental health issues and you're 30,000 feet in the air than the people, the kids and the families on the airplane. That's the part that's bizarre to me. Like, you're so
I have speculations about the whole entire mental health thing and how that was released. Do we want to
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Don't be woke. You can take care of people, but the most important thing are the affiliates. Don't be fucking silly. Don't conflate the issues. Don't get distracted. That's all just woke shit by saying, oh, Sevon's not being nice to him. Sevon's not being compassionate. I'm not worried about him. He's on the ground in his fucking $3 million home in fucking Boulder with fucking $20 million in the bank and in his fancy fucking wherever he goes to when you're crazy. I'm making that up. I don't know those exact numbers, but I'm not worried about him. I'm not. And I'm not worried about hurting his feelings or anything like that, other than I don't want my wife to think I'm a bad person. I'm just worried about the affiliates. And when I mean worried, I mean in the hierarchy of being concerned for things, the affiliates matter so much more to me than Eric Roza. Like, come on, man. I view it as selfish that he came out and said he's a quackadoodle. I view it as 100% selfish. I view it as a quackadoodle move.
So here's the thing. I think we're switching tracks a little bit.
And then he nosedived. We are. And then he nosedived the fucking plane by firing Dave. And instead of someone being like, hey, maybe the pilot really is fucked up, we're losing altitude quickly. I do have the best sources. Thank you, Jacqueline. I do have the best sources. So
hold on, don't move past that issue yet.
Okay, hold that thought. Let me finish reading this. Okay. As board chairman, I will provide support and mentoring to the leadership team and continue to partner with them on long-term vision and strategy while continuing to represent and brand externally. And we have begun the search process for a new CEO. So this is like saying nothing. That sentence says nothing. That just means they don't know what they're doing. That means that this has been rushed the same way firing Dave was rushed.
The pilot put on a parachute and jumped out of the plane.
Yes.
Stay with that analogy.
Yes. The good news is this fucking guy isn't flying the plane anymore. The bad news is we don't know who's flying it. It's just, God, it's such bad leadership. And maybe they know, maybe they're maybe they're bringing Dave back and they're not telling us. Who knows? But yeah, I don't think that's what they're doing, but who knows? Our team's strength comes from its breadth of experience
in the tech world.
I fucking love these just vapid sentences. This is amazing. This is our team's. This is like not saying, why don't you just say what people would respect you? Do you understand that the affiliates would respect you so much more? These are hardworking people. If you just told them the fucking truth. Hey man, this fucking guy fucking is stressed out because his fucking family. He's kind of a fucking mess. He's got too much money. He loves CrossFit, but he just fucked up. He fired Dave because he didn't know how to manage Dave, and we got to get our shit together. We're getting rid of him. We're bringing in this fucking other dude to hold down the ship for like a month. We're gonna keep you posted. Let's fucking really focus on the open. I mean, just like some straight talk. Our team strength comes. I mean, you're wasting the affiliates' time by making them read this. This is paragraph number 4 we're on.
The truth goes against our community guidelines.
But it is right. But it is really fun for my podcast. So I should thank you. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Our team strength comes from its breadth of experience, background, knowledge, and skill, all united by a shared passion for CrossFit. You have fewer people working at HQ who do CrossFit now than in the history of the fucking company. You know that, right? Okay, my wife told me, however calm I'm being, be calmer. In spite of the pandemic in 2021, we added more than 1,000 affiliates. Added it to what? How many did you lose?
It's like when they say they added.
Can I trust anything you say, since every sentence before this is lie? What did you say, Souza?
I said it's like when they say look how many jobs we've added since the pandemic. Like, if just because they went back to work doesn't mean you added shit.
Look how much money we've added to the economy during the pandemic. $3 trillion. Oh my goodness. I hope he's taking fucking Andrew Weinstein with him too. I hope, man, if they're not taking that guy with him, you guys are in big trouble. Because this is written, by the way, this isn't written by Eric Roza, would be my guess. This is written by a guy named Andrew Weinstein, who he takes everywhere with him, I think, from job to job to job. This is just a PR guy.
Yeah.
This is the guy who told Roza he should come probably straight with his mental health issues. Like, this guy.
I really want to get to that mental health issue thing, because I think we might have some. Might have a different take on that I think people might be interested in.
Okay. 1,000 credentialed over 15,000 new coaches. That by credentialed, that means they've sold 15,000 L1s, which is awesome. I'm stoked on that. And welcome hundreds of thousands of new members. I don't think they have no proof of that at all. Like, I don't know what the fuck they're like.
The gyms are open back up.
Yeah. Like, what? Even as COVID, how many, and none of this matter. Like, it doesn't matter if I put on 1,000 gyms if I lost 3,000. So, yes, let Matt talk. No, I will not let Matt talk. Thank you though for your vote, Alyssa. Even as COVID continues to impact many of our key markets, this is tremendous progress. No, it's not COVID. There's no lie. It's not COVID impacting. COVID does not impact markets. You guys know that, right? That's lie. That's word fuckery. You know that, right? Please tell me, those of you who listen to the show know that. That's word fuckery. I'll explain it for anyone. If you guys have a question, if you guys don't understand what I'm saying, I'll go into more detail on it, but that's not what the show's about. The world needs CrossFit more than ever. I just can't believe how empty this is.
I know.
No shit, dude. And with your engagement, there are no limits to CrossFit's ability to change millions of more lives in the years ahead. I'm honored to be on this journey with you. You're not on the journey with me. You are not on the journey with me. You're toast. Let me tell you what, he is gone for not being able to perform. This is what I think. I think he misled the board. He misled himself. I don't think that that's his fault. I think it's hard to see that Matt Suze is really just a bunch of blood and guts and veins and tendons and organs. And it's hard to realize that when you're just looking at his beautiful skin and his whatever that Lacus t-shirt of his and his biceps dangling out. But then he bought it and he realized, oh shit. And then when he fired Dave, he accidentally cut the heart out of the body. Oh my goodness. It is such a mess. From Jan Clark, $10 for your kids. Thank you. Okay, Susan, what's your theory? Alyssa, here you go, Alyssa. Where's Alyssa? Let Matt talk. Okay, fine. Here we go.
Okay. So I think when we go back to the original thing about the mental health issue, there's two different buckets we have to categorize this in. One, we're not talking about mental health issue and people coming out and saying, "Oh, you're bashing that and we're wrong." Okay, so put that in a separate bucket than this. I think what that was an insurance policy against what we're seeing now. Because just like if you guys listen to the Jake Hagel podcast, he said, I made fun of myself so that way it took away the power for other people to make fun of me. So when they talk about the experience of the team.
Wait a second. You think that you're proposing an idea. You're just, you don't, you don't think this, but what you're saying, what if that you say that he has some mental health issues, not necessarily knowing you're going to get rid of him, but it lays some groundwork for being like you see some waves coming. Wow. Let me play this out a little more if I understand it correctly. You're saying that they know that they want to get rid of Dave. They know that eventually they want to move him to chairman of the board or to the board. And you're saying that they're not playing checkers like me. Your hypothesis. Thank you, Jeffrey. That this is chess for them. And they're like, okay, they laid it out months in advance. Holy shit, that would be crazy. First, we're going to say that you have some mental health issues. That'll play to that group of people.
Not even the group of people, but that's the insurance policy of now we can't say anything negative about Roza or about his performance or about what's happening as a community as a total, because that would be frowned upon for the same reason why a lot of people came back at us and said, what you're saying about mental health issues is wrong because it's people like you that make it so they can't speak out. Right. So
did they say that? People said that about me?
What's that?
Okay. And then, but you're suggesting that they knew all of this in advance, possibly. I shouldn't be so naive. I find that really hard to believe, but I am kind of naive like that. I realize I don't play chess.
Mm-hmm. I think some of the most, one of the biggest thing is when you're purchasing a company that large and you have a private equity group like Berkshire Partners, you're very strategic. You're not thinking one move ahead. You're thinking 5 moves ahead, 6 moves ahead. Jeff Bezos used to say when the earning reports come out and people get it of like what happened in the last quarter, he goes, we're already working on a year out ahead of that. So you guys are so far in the rearview mirror of what's actually happening at the table with the board that it's too hard for you to see out to what's going on and to catch up with them. And if we go back to what I say about the experience of the team, he's right. Andrew Weinstein is a very intelligent individual. And he's somebody who's worked in the political arenas and different things like that and PR in this corporate world for a long time. And if you're only one move out ahead, you're going to get eaten by these sharks. You got to be 5 moves out ahead. And another reason why I'm speculating on that is because if it were me and I own a gym and other things, that if I were having issues like this, it wouldn't be a scripted thing that talks more about statistics on mental health. It would be a personal message from me to my community. And there was no personality to it. There was no personal touch to it. It was, hey guys, I have mental health issues. Here's a laundry list of facts on mental health issues in the US. Here's how we're going to talk about it affecting somebody on the team.
Wow,
with that poor guy and his family they brought in. And then that's it, right? There's no personal touch to it. And then we're just going to leave this here because now if we need to come back to it, we have our insurance policy.
That's really astute to what you said. There was nothing there. It's just like there's nothing personal, and we're seeing it again. There's nothing personal here either. It's just it's just hot air and rhetoric, and it's like basically if if 100% of the people are saying, hey, we need to hear something from you guys, they say something, and 80% of the people are, the sheep are all settled because they heard something.
That's right.
Bah, bah.
Yeah.
And the other 20% of us are like, wait, that's just the same bah, bah.
Yeah.
It's
a copy paste message. It's curated. It's thought through, and they're giving themselves options by doing that. Because guess what? If the firing of Dave Castro went maybe a different route, and people are like, "Yeah, we're all behind this," then they could just take their insurance policy and slide it away, and we don't even ever have to bring up Rose's mental health issues again. Or if it's really based on performance, meaning the return on investment that whoever owns CrossFit is looking to seek, then they could pull that thing back off the shelf again too and use that as well.
shit. It's out.
Okay, and so now I'm gone. You guys will never see me again.
You're gone. Bye. Yeah, man, that's good. What do you think of it? Well, then let me ask you some questions since you're the brain. What
No.
Someone just sent me a link to
Definitely not the brain, just speculating here.
someone sent me a link just now to the Morning Chalk Up article that they just released about it. What took them so long? Like I know that they're basically on the dole of CrossFit HQ. I know basically
They're the loudspeaker.
Yeah, and I know CrossFit HQ finds ways to give them money. So, for example, CrossFit HQ does not have to advertise at the Morning Chalk Up for the Open at all. The Morning Chalk Up exists to advertise the fucking Open. Like that, like they're gonna talk about the Open ad nauseum.
Right.
And yet CrossFit Inc. and basically says, okay, we'll give you $100 a month and we'll run these ads. Wink, wink. Yeah. And you better do our bidding or else we're not going to run these ads. I mean, so that's the
it has to be because they don't have a media team. The media team's sitting right here with me, or the real,
right,
the real media team.
So I wonder, why did Morning Chalk Up wait 2.5 hours to post this? I'm sure Andrew Weinstein told them yesterday, hey, we got to get ready to do damage control on this.
Mm-hmm.
So why did they wait 2.5 hours? Maybe it's not even worth asking that question. I have another email that came from HQ. Do you want to hear that one? So that first email I read you a few minutes ago was from Eric to the staff at HQ. Now I have another email I'm going to read you guys, and this is from the executive team to all the members. What's up, Bradley?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Just chilling, just trying to get some, numbers for my YouTube channel. You know how I do it. Just milking.
Oh, I hear that. Man, what the fuck is going on?
Hey.
Holy shit.
Oh, shoot, you just reminded me, Bradley, barbelljobs.com. I'm going to just put that up while I talk to you in case Roza wants to look for a new job. Okay. Go ahead, Brad. What do you think's going on, Bradley? What do you think? Do you have any speculation? We need a good conspiracy theory.
So I have no clue. So I literally just turned on my computer.
Hang up.
I'm a 10-year affiliate. So I've been doing CrossFit since 2007. I literally just turned on my computer and I was like, and it was live. I was like, Eric Roza fired. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I just got a call.
He's claiming they're claiming I just read the first letter. You can go back and I'm about to read a second letter, but they're basically claiming that he's moving to chairman of the board, and this was something that they had planned all along. But what I'm trying to what the things I'm not trying to talk about, the things that as we talk about it that reveal is that they haven't been honest since day one. We don't know who owns the company. They told us that he was going to buy the company. They fired Dave. They tried to make us say that it was mutual with Dave. Like, we don't really know what's going on. We do know that this company, though, is susceptible to what all woke people are susceptible to, and it's massive peer pressure. Like, that's the woke thing just wants to ride whatever perception. So it's kill witches today, fine, we kill witches. It's love witches tomorrow, we love witches. It's kill Jews tomorrow, we kill Jews. We love Jews tomorrow. That's what they're doing. Yeah, they're a woke company. So it's woke fit. And what happened that made it so that Eric Roza left? We know it's not like part of the plan. And they even so much as admit it. Something, and I have to assume that it's because of Dave. I'm assuming that the pressure, I mean, we even saw Gary Gaines go on that podcast recently saying where he likes Dave. I mean, I have to imagine that Marshall and Nicole are fucking devastated, and Chuck and Todd Widman and half the L1 team. I mean, even if you hated Dave and you worked at CrossFit Inc., he's still one of the apostles. Like, no one wants to see him go fucking get taken out and get killed. Sorry, go ahead.
Correct. And so what are we, a year into this? A year and 3 months since the official change or whatever? I don't even know if it's been that long.
I think it's been almost 3. I think it's been almost 3. Well, in the letter that Roza wrote today, I think he said almost 3 years. Believe it or not.
3 years. Was it 3 years?
I don't know. That's what, didn't he say almost 3 years?
2020 to 2000. I mean, maybe a year and a half. I don't know. I mean, that seems kind of crazy, but
yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right.
Everything has shifted in the last year and a half. And as affiliate owner, who I found CrossFit in 2007, I've owned 2 affiliates. I still own my affiliate. I run it every single day. It's disheartening as an affiliate owner because we have no understanding and no direction of what's going on. Right? You don't hear anything. You just see little headlines, right? You got little things that, Morning Chalk Up puts up and whatever. But you have no clue what's going on, what direction or anything. And it's just like, all you can say is, what the fuck?
Yeah. What do you like? Let me play devil's advocate here for a reason. What do you care? Well, how about fuck you? Go back and train someone. Like, what if that was like their word?
Yeah,
like what do you care as the mothership? What do you care what the mothership's doing?
You've been around since 2007. I've been around since 2007. You've been around before that.
Just a little bit before. Just towards the end of 2006. Yep. Just a little bit more.
The feeling that you had when you started CrossFit then, right? The community, everybody's patting everybody's back. You're there, right? Last person finished the workout. You're still right there. You had that community feeling. And now it just seems like, as an affiliate owner, I'm just doing my own thing, right? Like, there's no direction and there's no understanding of what the path is to where we want to get. Are they putting out more information as far as like a health and fitness agenda? Yeah, like they are putting that out there, right? They're being more vocal with that as far as that. But when you go back and you look at what Greg Glassman was doing whenever he started, I mean, that dude went after everybody. If you attack the CrossFit brand, if you attack the methodology of CrossFit and what the affiliate owners were trying to do and trying to get people from the couch into the gym and trying to change their life in the most positive way possible, right? And now you look at it, you're just like, what's that? You don't see that, right? You don't feel that. And I talk to affiliate owners on a constant basis. Every single day I have some of my best friends are affiliate owners. And they all just like, and I was affiliate owner before them, and they got into wanted to be an owner because they saw my passion for it. And they're like, what the hell is going on? And I'm like, I have no clue. I don't know where we're going, what direction we're going. And it's just every single day, it's like, it's just a loss. We're lost, right? And that's that.
Someone said in the comments here, and I think this addresses a little bit of what you're saying. Why doesn't CrossFit HQ treat the affiliates like shareholders? That is what they're doing. This is the very last thing you want from your leadership. I know it sounds like it's a good idea, but what you really want is you want one fucking dude who can stay true to the course, and anyone who doesn't like it will fall off the back. It's okay. We all aren't going to the top of Everest. The problem with HQ now is they're trying to appeal to everyone. It was so much better. You just have Greg at the helm. You have a guy who's okay holding his middle fingers up in the air and saying, my true north is health, fitness, and longevity. And we go there. And now not everyone's going to go. Somewhere along the way, you're going to be like, hey, I don't like that. Or like, hey, I need to make more money than be focused on this specific goal because I have family and kids. Or I thought Floyd 19 was racist because I'm woke and I don't understand it was to help black people. And so you break off and it's okay. But the problem is they are listening now. They have like 10,000 voices in their ear. I was looking at this thing, Bradley, that they call CrossFit Health. Now, I'm not an expert on CrossFit Health, but I know that Greg Glassman and Karen Thompson are experts. And the purpose of CrossFit Health was to show the ills of modern medicine, basically to show that, hey, that there is no truth in the statin science, to show that, you know, they bled out George Washington, to show that, to point out why is it that there all of a sudden influenza went away, but COVID's stronger than ever. Like, to show all the fucking lies coming from the medical establishment and get the medical establishment on truth, right? That was the point. Well, when Roza bought the company, and I use this as an example just to be indicative of everything that's going on there, they took a department that nobody knew really what it was, because it was Greg's, it was so young, and it was so, Greg's vision was so strong, and he had Karen Thompson doing it for him. And then when they bought CrossFit, they should have thrown away CrossFit Health. There was no one there unless they gave Karen carte blanche to do what she wanted with it. There was no one there who was going to be able to pursue it the way Greg did. That was his project, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's his baby.
And now it has nothing to do with the ills of modern medicine. They kept this fucking department. It would be like if tomorrow Harley Davidson only sold flowers. Like, yeah. They've invited the wolf into the hen house by the direction they've taken CrossFit Health. It's like, no, you fucking idiots. And it's the same thing with the DEI council. If you really, they should get rid of the DEI council, all the money that they spend on that, all the money that they spend on trying to help people, all that stuff. They should build a media team. And anytime an affiliate is doing something that they like, they should go out and make a piece on it. And they should do that every week. So they should go out to Louisiana. Is that where your affiliate is, Bradley?
Yeah, I'm in Louisiana.
And they should go to your 3 o'clock class that's only for fat and old people. And they should do a fucking $10,000 video on it. And then they should go over to the affiliate in Harlem that's just for kids whose parents make less than $15,000 a year and do a fucking video on it. HQ needs to be celebrating and promoting and jerking the affiliates off non-fucking stop, and stop worrying about anything else.
Yeah, I mean, if you look back, right, like look back on some of those old videos that were on the journal, right? Like whenever, what was it? They went to Tahoe. I think it was like a Again Faster Rogue.
Yes.
And then they did like Big Sky Mountain, and they did like the workouts and everything like that. Like that was like the top of the top, right? Like that was where everybody wanted to be, right? I remember when I started, like my whole thing was like, I want to be a 10-year affiliate, right? So when they have the 10-year affiliate gathering, I can be there and be a voice.
Yeah.
Right. And now it's like a 10-year affiliate, like you're just a 1-year affiliate. Like it doesn't.
Thank you for your payment.
There's no. Yeah. It's like, right. And somebody's asked me like, what are you going to do, Brad? Like, I'm like, well, fuck, I can turn around a $3,000 profit by the end in October if I don't, re-sign my affiliation. Right. Because I'm 10 years in. I'm not in. I can get out the negative by just saying.
I hear you.
You know, it sucks.
I have 4 TVs in my house, big fucking flat screens. I have one in my garage. I have one in my kids' playroom. I have one in my living room, and I have one in my bedroom. I think the smallest one's like 50 inches, and the biggest one's 90 inches. And I don't let my kids watch TV except on Friday night after the sun goes down, and Saturday. And for whatever reason, I'm having some issues with Avi right now. He doesn't want to do jiu-jitsu because he got a urinary tract infection, blah, blah, blah. So yesterday I tell him, hey, if you are able to do jiu-jitsu, if you do jiu-jitsu today just for 10 minutes, the class is an hour and a half. You just do the warm-up, go out there, and I'll let you watch a little bit of TV tonight. He says, really? I said, yeah. He goes out there and does it. He comes home. They're watching TV, okay, Bradley? My 3 sons.
Yeah.
One of them doesn't like the show they're watching, and he wants to go turn on another TV. No. Sorry, motherfucker. This is like, no. You cannot watch TV. And that's the problem with CrossFit HQ. Like, and so that son cries and runs away. That's going to happen to 20% of the affiliates. 20% of you fuckers are going to be unhappy at all times. And when HQ tries to fucking accommodate them, I know we're a little off subject here, the whole thing is going to get fucked. We're going to compromise the vision. Well, it's already been compromised because it's about making money. Greg would have never let Thorne and fucking whoever the fuck else is in there.
I have a couple thoughts. I'm gonna explode if we don't get to talk about it.
Okay, sorry, Bradley. Let Matt say something here a second.
No,
sorry, Bradley. I'm dominating. Go ahead, Matt.
I just think it's important. One thing that we should state, like even when Greg was CEO, the affiliates were always shareholders. And I'm going to make a reference here because when Amazon went public in 1997, the first thing Jeff Bezos said is, if you're investing in this company to get a return on your profit, take your money somewhere else. Because he understood the long-term vision and he understood the long-term direction of Amazon, the company, just like Greg did of CrossFit. So what he was saying is, if you're in this to get money here and that's what you're doing and you want a shareholder because you want a return on profit, this probably isn't the place for you.
Yeah.
So
no, I understand that. What I'm saying is, I've never had an issue with affiliation, right? When Greg,
why was that,
I remember,
why was that? Clarify that thought real quick.
What I'm saying, like, there was never a disconnect where I was like, man, I don't ever want to, like, I don't want to be affiliated. When all the drama was going on, I'm talking about, you know, whenever the issue with Glassman was separating from his wife and they were trying to get bought out by a hedge fund. I never had a thought in my mind was like, I'm not unaffiliating, right? When I remember the night that Glassman put out the tweet that shook the whole community, right? I even was like, I text a buddy screenshot. I was like, yeah, he fucked up with that one, right? But people didn't understand what his purpose was, right?
Right, totally.
I never pause right there for me.
I never had a thought process at that time to unaffiliate. Right now, it's just a shit show, and I feel like I'm not getting anything back from the past 9 years and 10 years that I've put into this and into my clientele and my clients and all that. And now it's just like everything's crumbling down and you're just like, there's really nothing. Like, I'm trying to find that kind of drive and focus to keep pushing on and on and on the CrossFit methodology, because it completely changed my life and it's changed millions of people's around the world's life.
Mine too. And my mom's.
And it just sucks because now you're sitting here and you're just like, every time CrossFit it's not getting brought up in a positive, right?
Yes, Bradley, hold on. Let me stop you right there for a second. The reason why I was bringing up the connection between Amazon and investing in it in the early days and Bezos saying, if you're investing in this to get a return on your money, you're not, because we're not going to turn a profit for a long time, was because you were buying in on the vision and the direction of the company. So agreeing on the point, I was hoping that you would get around to it. And the purpose of you being affiliated and staying, even when the waters got rough, was because you knew and we were committed to Greg's vision and direction of CrossFit. We knew that was what you were buying into. You weren't buying into it as a business model to hopefully get more money. You were buying into the vision, into the direction. You were buying into the methodology that Greg set forth. And a couple of things I wanted 100%. To mention here real quick, because the vision and direction, if you were close to CrossFit at all and you were paying attention, you read the articles, you were very clear that we were lifeboats for the tsunami of chronic disease. We had the solution, the elegant solution to the world's most complex and vexing problem, right? But then when that changed and it became corporate labels such as health, performance, and happiness, it's really hard to have any metric on that. And it's really hard to have a vision and direction behind that because it's vague, right? And here's one of the biggest differences. When Greg would say that, he would say, all as I know is that when you walk into one of my affiliates, you will become better. I'm not going to define better. You are going to tell me what became better by you walking into it.
Yeah.
Right. And that's
100%.
The biggest difference between just putting little labels so everybody could do stuff. And Greg just saying, no. I've handed you the methodology to make your life better. You're going to put that definition on it after you follow the path of the methodology. So I was agreeing with you in the sense of that we had a strong vision and direction that we were buying into when we were shareholders of CrossFit when it was owned by Greg. And then that got lost when Roza bought it.
Oh, yeah. And it's just one of those things that I try, I try. You get clients come in, right? And they read, you got clients that are in the mix and everything like that. And they want to, what's going, and you try to have the conversation and you try to say, the bigger picture is like, I'm in the health and fitness business as far as teaching people how to move their body in a better way. Right. And my clientele is based off of 30, 35, 40. I got 75-year-olds that are clientele. And I tell them all the time, like, my job is the longevity of your life, right? And we're doing that through CrossFit. But on the other side, it's when I've been so connected to something since 2007. It's just, like I said, it's disheartening that you have to come home. It's almost like breaking up with your high school girlfriend, right? Because it's like, you know, like you love her so much, right? But then there's this other side, just like, man, she's batshit crazy, right?
Already in high school? No, I didn't have any batshit crazy ones in high school. You had
Oh
batshit
no, definitely,
Oh,
definitely
shit.
batshit crazy. They start them young over here in Louisiana, man.
Bradley, thank you very much for calling in, brother. Stay in touch.
No, much appreciation, guys.
Thank you, Bradley.
I want to read more of this letter from the leadership team to HQ, but I want to address something that Call Me Dave, Call Me D says. He says, Dave, you mean the guy who, and he's attacking, someone must have said something about Dave Castro and he's trying to like go after Dave Castro a little bit. He says, Dave, question mark, you mean the guy who gave athletes sunstroke and blamed it on the athletes despite the medical team's objections? The one who scheduled swim events and water bodies against local advice? So Call Me D, I just want to say that I think it's inappropriate, misguided, and disingenuous, and in line the way you're presenting it. I mean, Dave, the guy who was on his high school football team as a wide receiver and never got to start, never got to play, but still came to practice every day. I mean, Dave, who went to the Navy and was on SEAL Team 4, SEAL Team 8, SEAL Team 6. Yes, all those. And who then also did exchange program with Delta Force. I'm talking about Dave, who was recently called to the East Coast to meet with a 2-star general who was Delta Force commander when Dave was serving, who even as a SEAL respects the fuck out of Dave. I'm talking about Dave, who realizes that there is a balance and a ethos and a street cred to wearing a CrossFit shirt, a CrossFit.com shirt, and to competing at the CrossFit Games so that you can say you're the fittest man or woman on the planet. There's no question that the person who wins that event is the fittest man on the planet. No one thinks it's a running back for the Raiders. No one thinks it's a decathlete. No one thinks anything. Everyone would love to see Matt Fraser or whoever, Rich Froning, smash any fucking athlete anywhere. Everyone's proud to wear these shirts because we know how fucking hard it is, from our affiliate to when we do it in our garage, like a pussy like me, to going to the CrossFit Games. Those of us who were there and have seen the sunstroke, there's equal blame on everybody, just as much on the athletes who could have toned it down a little bit and not pushed as hard. They're in control of themselves. This is about personal responsibility and personal accountability. It's not athlete safety first. If it was athlete safety first, they wouldn't compete. They would be sitting at game consoles. They'd be playing fucking UFC 4 on a game console, and they wouldn't go out there. You're completely misguided. You are what makes human beings weak. You want to argue limitations. You want to take things out of context. It's not appropriate. Call Me D. The one who scheduled swim events and water bodies against local advice. And when you say medical teams, you know that doctors in this country are the third leading cause of death in this country, right? 250,000 people die a year because of medical errors. You know that doctors hold no fucking authority, no moral authority. You know that they are the worst at risk management and risk assessment. The worst. They have no business doing that. You know that, right? A doctor is supposed to tell you that 1 in 32 million people who are 18 years and old and younger will die from COVID. Not that COVID's dangerous. They're supposed to give you those numbers and you make the assessment. And this thing about scheduled swim events against water bodies against local advice, you know that body of water that you're referencing, you're being ambiguous, but it has E. coli in it all year. You know Ironman is there. You know they do an event there in the water to help clean the water. You think that Dave knew that it was dangerous and pushed the athletes in there? You're out of your mind, dude. You're out of your mind. You're a fucking hater. Get the fuck out of here. Sorry, I tried to be nice to you, but I just can't. It's just douchebaggery. If you can't swim without swallowing so much water that you get sick, then swim slow with your head out of the water. Fuck, another t-shirt. Colton Mertens.
Okay, so email.
Okay, sorry. So
we're gonna
here
read
we
that
go.
email. Yeah,
So
and I'm just trying to keep you on track because
I appreciate it.
I think it's important that we land
Yes.
on points before we go too far out because we got a lot of really good stuff here. So we should take this time
Right.
to be articulate,
Right.
clarify, and then continue to track on.
This is, I was going to use a sexual metaphor, but yeah, this is just such a beautiful, this is such a intellectually rich landscape that there's just so much.
Just
I
a
mean,
charcuterie
I'd
of
love to
things.
swerve off onto morning chalk up a little bit and take a
Don't do
dump
it
in
yet.
there.
Don't do it yet.
Take a dump in their front yard. Okay, so, have I started this to follow up on Eric's news? We wanted to share some additional information and the next step with you. This is a letter from the X team signed by someone named Allison, Andrew, Aaron, Gary, Jason, Jeremy, Justin, Marshall, Nicole, and Trish. And I believe it's to all the staff. I would love to know how many of those people there can squat below parallel. Dude, Justin must be tripping. Justin must be tripping. If they're getting it, let's say they're getting rid of Eric and they're gonna bring Dave back. You have to understand when Greg did Floyd. Sorry, Susan, I know you're trying. When Greg did Floyd 19, one of the things that we all saw, and Dave talks about this in the interview I did with him a couple of years ago or a year and a half ago. One of the things we saw, and the metaphor I'm going to use is, imagine a live shooter comes into a room and you're with 100 of your best friends in a cafeteria. You get to see where everything does. So Sousa grabs the last bite of his sandwich. I'm like, fuck, that dude likes sandwiches. The guy to the right of me holds up a baby as cover. I'm like, oh shit, that guy's willing to put a baby's life ahead of his. We got to see how everyone reacted in a time of serious trauma. And it was crazy trauma at HQ. Everyone was some people were like running to get the active shooter. Some people were running out the door. Some people were holding babies up. We got to see how everyone, it was a feint, right? Like in fighting, we got to see how everyone reacted. This is another thing you have to remember how crazy this is, because when they fire Dave, we all get to see how the company reacts. We get to see how like someone like how Justin might react, or Nicole might react, or this girl Erin from Waze who runs the meeting. We get to see how everyone reacts based on the fact that one of the staff got fired. So some people might see a power vacuum and try to fill Dave's role. Some people might like just start throwing a temper tantrum and can't work anymore because they're so upset that their boy Dave got fired. There's a whole variety of responses you might have. Well, Dave got to see this. We all got to see it, depending on your proximity to the damage, to the epicenter. And imagine someone like Justin, who got Dave's job when Dave's gone, and now the guy who fired Dave is gone, and now there's probably, I would be speculating that Dave would be coming back. I have no proof of that, by the way. No one get all fucking crazy on that. I have zero proof of that.
We could all hope, though. We could all hope. But
just imagine all the people freaking out, because like I don't know exactly what Justin did, but yeah, he got to see everyone flinch again, and then it's like just kidding, I'm back. It's like, oh no. I wish I could convey to you guys how real that phenomenon is. Okay. So then I don't know who wrote this letter, but all these people, I'm sure Andrew wrote this. I'm sure Andrew went, this is all just PR. This is just bullshit. Okay. Sure. So it says, while Eric is shifting roles, I don't believe that, by the way, me personally. I think he's gone. And we know that they're liars over there. And I can give you dozens and dozens of examples. Well, Eric is, in a nicer way to say it, they try to mitigate damage or be politically correct.
Hey, what about like this analogy here? He was the one nobody liked in the fraternity, but he's already paid his dues, so you have to let him stay.
Sure. Yes. Who? Which one? Who?
Roza.
Roza. Yes. Oh, yes. Maybe. Yes. I was never in a fraternity. I really wanted to be for a little while. While Eric is shifting roles, the leadership team is unified and committed to driving the business forward. The business forward, huh? Working closely with the board. Isn't it so? It's so funny too, because
wait, did that?
They don't know. Like the affiliates aren't even used to, and the employees, even though you've been there a year and a half, they're not used to even thinking like that. Like they don't think about a board or as a business. Like,
right.
It's so trippy. Like they don't know who they're fucking talking to.
Did it say Roza will be working closely with the board? Was that what that was in?
While Eric is shifting roles, the leadership team is unified and committed to driving the business forward, working closely with the board.
Who's the board?
Yeah, well, yeah. Right. I know the whole thing. They just don't know who they're talking to. This is all just, they don't realize that by putting this shit out, they're just making things worse.
Right.
They're just, it's like when you go visit your mom who has Alzheimer's and she keeps calling you by the wrong name and you just can't accept it. Like you're talking to the wrong people. The team includes Jason, the president, by the way, who I've heard good things about, Allison, CFO. I thought they had a dude as a CFO.
These guys.
Aaron CMO, that's the lady at Waze. Hey, guys from Waze, listen to you knuckleheads. Get rid of all the DEI shit. Get rid of any programs you have to help people, all that crap, and give all of that money to Aaron and let her start making videos out of affiliates and L1s. Please. That's your only hope. You have to start rewarding the affiliates with the good work they're doing. You want more black people in HQ, find a fucking affiliate that's fucking giving free classes to black. Oh, there's an affiliate in Louisiana. It's a police affiliate. The guy's name is Bobby. I had him on the podcast. I think it's Louisiana. He has a program. It's like 90% black kids who come there after school. It's free and it's at a police station. Go do a fucking video over there instead of have a DEI council. Make that video and show it to the world. Make one of those every week. Aaron, I know you probably think I'm an asshole. Call me. I will fucking tell you how to fucking, I will help you. I'll make suggestions. I'll be friendly and humble and I will help you. And you don't ever have to mention my name. I'll tell you exactly what you should have been doing. Because we used to do it and we fucking murdered it. We killed it. Jeremy, CTO. I think that's like the geek. That's the chief technical officer. Nicole. I'm assuming that's Nicole Carroll. They call it EDU. Switch that back to training. That's like what? Gary, Jim. Switch that back to affiliates. Justin, sport. Switch that back to game. I mean, you knuckleheads. You're trying so hard to change stuff.
Stay with the email. Stay with the email.
Okay. Sorry. Brian, hi. I can't talk to you. What do you want?
You answered the phone, dude.
I know, but it's still. I can't talk.
So I go in and out. I'm listening, and then I come back and forth on the thing. So I don't know if I'm going to rehash territory. I'm also an affiliate owner for 10 years and been around for a minute. My question, I guess, is, I go back to when Glassman sold the company, and all of a sudden Roza comes out of nowhere, and through the whole thing that's happened with Dave getting fired and all these sort of like behind the scenes machinations. Is there an inside story about how he kind of like got, all of a sudden he had an Instagram profile, which he didn't have before? Like, cause as soon as his name gets announced, you're like, who is this dude? Like, is he one of us? Did he, where are his open scores, and he's kind of presented as, hey, this guy's a Fran time. And he looks like a CrossFitter, like, but then he wasn't. And he's not, like, whatever it was that he is, was a fabrication. I think as the year or so, whatever it is, has played out, you're like, this was a work, like a pro wrestling work. Like, we had Greg, who was kind of like who I love forever, is like your crazy old uncle. And they're like, here, we got a good looking one. He's a better version. But it was...
Oh shit. How dare you say that about my friend Greg Glassman? How dare you?
And I love him,
Roza
man.
is a handsome man. He's a handsome man. He should keep his mouth shut, but he is a handsome man. He's got an awesome body.
Yeah, so we get this like crazy, and ever since then, it's just like I'm watching Succession on HBO. Do you watch that show?
No. Is there nudity in it? I might watch it if there's nudity.
You know what's crazy, man? It's the only HBO show without nudity. Like Game of Thrones, you're good for, boobs and butts.
Yes.
Nothing.
Disgusting.
But yeah, it's terrible that they don't have it. But it's all these like, hey, here's a political, we want to name a CEO, we want to name the next person. And it's just a show about infighting. Like I stayed away from it because I thought it was about business. I don't care about business, but it's about, how a company deals with media and infighting in the modern era. And all these like Matt was saying earlier, like these are chess moves. Like they're using like, hey, we got option A, we got option B. You don't have to use option A. We can get away with it. This doesn't work. We do that. Like,
Brian, can I interrupt you a second?
Yeah.
By the way, that's cool that you're a 10-year affiliate. What state?
California.
Oh, man, I'm so sorry. Me too. Where in California?
Oakdale. I'm outside of Modesto on the way to Yosemite.
Oh,
Hey,
gangster.
you're
Oh,
away from me.
gangster. Oh, I may have been to your affiliate once. Is it really tiny? Is it the closest affiliate to Yosemite?
It is not. You have not been. Although, like you were filmed. I went to Santa Cruz, North Santa Cruz. It was called back.
Oh shit.
And you were filming. Andy Stump was the flow master.
Holy shit.
Yeah, when you were there filming, and I was like, because I was good at CrossFit at the time, and I was like, this guy, I'm gonna be a star, and you didn't film me, and but I'm over it, kind of.
So basically, I was on Instagram one day, and this guy David Woods reaches out to me, and he says, "Hey, my buddy will write a check today for 9 figures or 10 figures to buy CrossFit from Greg if he wants to sell it." This is during just fucking the turmoil, right? The Floyd 19 shit, and I'm like, what the fuck? So I tell Greg, I'm like, can this be real? So I get a piece of paper and I write out 9 zeros and 10 zeros. And I'm like, holy shit, that's like millions, hundreds of millions and billions of dollars. So I passed the message to Greg. From there, I think that he also had emailed Greg, this guy, David Woods, or somehow got in touch with Greg. And then Greg and Eric met, and basically Eric said he's going to fucking buy the company and he's going to buy it for X amount of dollars, and told Greg, hey, better not shop this shit around. It's a done deal. They shake hands. It's a done deal. Greg sells the company. By no means did Greg have to sell the company, by the way. Like, right. It's his. He could have just been like, fuck you, whatever that bitch's name was in Washington, and called him racist. He should have been like, fuck you, bitch. I ain't racist. And any affiliate who thinks I am, get the fuck out. Like, he could have done that. I'm not saying I'm not saying he should have, but he could have. But he's also, you have to also remember, he's almost 70. He's probably like 65 years old now. And like, how much more fight does he want inside? And a lot of his staff were chicken shit too. You have to remember, it was scary times.
So let me butt in real quick.
Okay.
Because I was there for the unbuyable era, and like, very rarely did CrossFit HQ ever called us twice. And once was, hey, Axios or Axiom or whatever it was called was going to buy the company.
Anthos, Brian Kelly, Anthos, scumbag, yes.
Right. But here's my question. When shit was going bad in 2020, do those guys reach out again? Or are these guys just Anthos in other clothing? Like,
well, no one knows. No one knows the answer to that.
Yeah, exactly. Who the fuck owns the company?
Yeah, no one knows the answer to that. Well, so, I mean, someone knows, like the owners know, like, and
does Greg know?
No, Greg doesn't know. I don't think he know. I don't know what Greg knows. I believe Greg doesn't know, but I believe there was a lot of crazy shit going on with the NSCA then. They were in deep shit, man. Basically, there was rumblings that they were going to pay $50 million for Greg to let them go, let them off the hook. And Greg was like, nope, I'm not fucking you guys for the money. I'm fucking you for the sake of fucking you, because you wanted to put licensure on all gyms in the United States of America, not just CrossFit gyms. Basically, they were trying to make it so and Greg was like, there's no fucking, my legacy is going to be, I'm going to cut you fucking out like a cancer. I'm not going to fucking chemo you and let you grow back in 10 years. That's what's the hardest thing about working with Greg. The motherfucker is a savage, and he's focused, and he's principled. And so if like you got on that side of his fucking, like if he's cutting you out, he's cutting you out. And he was done with the NSCA. I mean, he caught them lying about every fucking affiliate in the country. He lied about them. That's what's another thing that's crazy. I hope this new CEO releases the NSCA file. I hope. Well, I don't even know if he can do it. They took a fucking settlement sealing that. Greg used to tell.
I don't see why he couldn't. I don't see why he couldn't, because he, like, whoever the new CEO is, or whoever the people are, like, they didn't sign this agreement. And like the NDAs are, like, people break NDAs now because there's loopholes in them that, like, people are usually afraid to do. But once the money is off the table for whomever did the signing, and I'm not a lawyer, but I know I watch TV. One of the problems with a lot of the communication back in like 16, 17, 18 was when Greg started going into these fights and started, whatever happened with the games, and things started to shift, and these were not communicated as well as me. I went for my level 1 in 2009, right? I knew the whole level 1. I had watched every video that Greg had ever done.
Careful.
And it's
Go ahead.
But it was like, it was great to go, but he was constantly communicating with us.
Oh yeah.
And explaining the vision of what he wanted to do.
Right.
Like he explained when he changed from sectionals to the open, and like there was grumblings then, but it was like, Greg was like, laid it out. This is the way it's going to be. This is how our sport's going to evolve.
And if you don't like it, leave. It's his. Like that was the hard part. People didn't realize it was his. It's his sandbox. We're playing in it, and everyone wants this. Oh, we should all vote. We should all. But shut the fuck up. Like,
but as you start to get into these existential fights that he started to fight, kind of in boardrooms with lawyers, it was not explained to us the importance of it.
Right.
And for those of us that were
distracted
by the shininess of the games, we lost that, because I say this, like, Greg is punk rock, man. That dude. And when you say, I know some Hells Angels, and that guy's a fucking runs like a Hells Angel.
Yeah, he used to run with the Hells Angels too.
Did he really?
Yeah,
that makes sense.
That's why it's apropos.
But that's like, when he kind of stopped communicating, it just opened up the door for all this garbage. But those fights are like, those folks have long memories. And if Coca-Cola really does own CrossFit, or has this is crazy. And I'm not.
It is crazy. No. Hey, it's not out there. It's not any more crazy than to think that that there's a pandemic.
I always talk about movies and bullshit. Like if you ever watched the Major League with the great Charlie Sheen classic, the team buys, or the lady gets the team, and her goal is to just move it to Florida so she doesn't have to be in Cleveland anymore. Is that what happened to CrossFit? They sold the team, and now they're just, let's fuck this thing over. Let's get rid of their good people.
Anything's possible, man.
Bring in these
I'm going to read
douchebags.
Brian, I appreciate you calling. I'm going to read the rest of this letter.
All right, bye.
You're good, dude. Bye. Okay. Sorry, Susan. I just was reading your body language. I'm like, oh, I'm fucking up.
Well, I know everybody's patiently waiting here. And although Brian had some great stuff, it was just, let's give the people what they want, huh?
Okay. So I'm continuing this letter. This is a letter from the leadership team to everyone at HQ. While Eric is shifting roles, the leadership team is unified and committed to driving the business forward, working closely with the board. The team includes Jason as president, Allison as CFO, Aaron as CMO, Jeremy as CTO, Nicole as training, Gary as affiliates, Justin as games, Trish as HR, Marshall is legal, and Andrew is comms. By comms, they mean PR. Like comms. Comms. What does Aaron do? Chief Marketing Officer. By the way, we weren't allowed to use the word marketing at HQ when I was there. It was called the media team. And the reason why is because Greg didn't believe there was anything that we should be doing that doesn't add value to the affiliates. Like, so we should never be selling you on anything. We should only be producing material that adds value to your life or your business. We start from a strong position, thanks in large part to your outstanding efforts. The company is on solid financial ground, and all of our lines of business are healthy and growing. We are entering our most exciting period of the year with the Open. We're tracking toward our aggressive targets for participation. I don't believe that's true. I don't know if that's true, but I would love to find out the Open numbers and see if they're really tracking. Our registrations for core EDU courses, that means training courses, L1, L2, L3 are up 20% year over year. Now, what's interesting about that is January is always the biggest year for all training companies. And they're saying it's up 20% from the previous year, which was probably the worst January in the history of CrossFit, I would guess. And when you see stuff like this and you see them trying to put lipstick on a pig, it makes it worse. You start to become super duper disingenuous, and it's tough. It doesn't help. We have already added more than 100 gyms to the community this year. Okay, but how many of you lost? In short, we're heading in the right direction, and we have great momentum. Yeah, it's so disingenuous. We know it's been a challenging period for many members of the team, and we appreciate how everyone has remained focused on our mission. You guys have not, so it's interesting that he says that. We know it's been tough for the team. It's been excruciating for the people at CrossFit HQ. Excruciating for the old people, the new people, from the smallest level to they don't know what they're doing, to the fact that they're watching their peers get thrown out, to the fact that there's things like CrossFit Health that have taken a radically bad turn in bad direction. like
Yep.
completely fucking off the rails, supporting pharma instead of fucking like doing it what it was supposed to be. They should get rid of CrossFit Health, by the way. You have no business running that. It was great. It was Greg's. Like, just let that go. But anyway, because CrossFit is health. CrossFit is health. You don't need a separate thing. But anyway, and it says we're remaining focused on our mission. When they say they're being focused on their mission, and if you're an affiliate owner, you're probably not going to want to hear this. You're probably going to want to plug your ears. This is going to break your fucking heart. But CrossFit HQ has hired a firm out of New York City to help them reestablish who they are, their identity, and their mission and the direction they're going.
Mm-hmm.
That they have completely lost their way, and they've had to hire an outside firm. They could have just, like, I don't understand why they just didn't walk over to Nicole's desk and ask Nicole. Nicole knows what the fuck is going on.
That'd have been a great start.
Yeah, it might not make, and it might not be what makes the most amount of money, but it's what the affiliates want. We're sure you have a lot of questions, so we plan to communicate on an ongoing basis with you about our plans and next steps, including monthly all hands on meeting. Yeah, and that you come from a very difficult place, because first you told that this is a letter, by the way, from the executive team to all the staff of HQ that I'm reading from right now. And basically they're in a really tough spot, because basically what you did is you had the leader who was flying the plane come out and saying he's crazy, he's having mental health issues, and then come back 2 months later and fire Dave Castro. And I cannot emphasize enough, even the people there who hated Dave and they're so bummed he got fired.
Mm-hmm.
He's that person. No, like he's the tree in your yard that fucking you might struggle with, because it fucking, you have to rake the leaves every winter. But if a car hit it, you get out and beat the dude who hit it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people knew, whether it was conscious or subconsciously, that he was basically the last figure between like the methodology and what truly CrossFit was in the corporate world where it is now.
And he had that gangster attitude. He was our
Right.
true fucking silent professional.
Yeah.
He was the only professional left. Okay. He was our mill guy, which, if you don't know, those are the origins of CrossFit. That's why CrossFit exploded, because first responders in the military were using it to save their lives.
And that links back to the NSCA case, because they first tried to block those contracts in the military.
Well said. We'll have all hand meetings, regular email updates, and in-person meetings and offsites as COVID allows. Once again, blaming the COVID thing, which is a lie, which is lies built on top of lies, built on top of lies. I mean,
Excuses. Yeah.
Yeah. Fascinating. And we didn't do emails at CrossFit, just so you know. That was one of the things we did not do.
You did workouts.
Greg did not send out emails like that. He did not spam the employees, did not spam the affiliates. And this is what this is. This whole thing is spam. I'm reading it to you just so I can get viewers and time watch so that I can buy jiu-jitsu for my kids. But this is just, it could have just been like, hey, nothing has been said. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's just nothing. At our all hands meeting this month, we will share the company's strategic and business plans. You don't need to tell me that. You can just do it next month. Just shut up and do it. And you're not going to anyway.
They're waiting for what the firm says that they're doing, so then they could tell us.
Right. So we can all align on our objectives for the year at the next, which is, and their objectives will be stuff like increase the number of affiliates, increase the number of people in the open. They won't be like the objectives Greg gave us. It's so funny to hear when I heard Daniel Chafee and Gary Gaines and Austin Malleolo talking about how Greg never gave us goals. We were fucking defending a fucking mountain. At that next meeting, we want to be sure we address as many topics as possible. So people submit any questions you have to Parissa. Parissa is, I think that's the girl that, I think that's Eric Rose's assistant, or used to be his assistant. She replaced David Woods. David Woods was the guy I told you who originally, he knew Roza because he used to train at Roza's gym, and they were friends from there. And then when Eric bought the company, when Eric was involved in the purchase of the company, he brought David Woods on as his assistant. And then him and David Woods had a falling out. And then this girl, Parissa, has since taken David Woods' place. And David Woods, I think, works with Justin now. I can't tell if I like David Woods or if I feel sorry for him or if I'm pissed at him. Because those people insisted, including Andrew Weinstein, that I would never be fired. They just fucking lied to me from the beginning. Yeah. So it's documented very well. You should know, by the way. You know who you is. Settle down, Sevi. So people submit any questions you have to Parissa for inclusion in the discussion. In if you get raised to a position of power, don't be an asshole. Really, really strive. Don't be like, well, I need to be strong now. Do not be an asshole. In the interim, please reach out with any questions. Thank you for everything you do. Signed, Allison, Andrew, Aaron, Gary, Jason, Jeremy, Justin, Marshall, Nicole, and Trish. I mean, you
They
guys
all signed
like,
it.
yeah. And there's like people on that list that like the majority of the staff hate. So let's say that
Right.
was just the greatest letter in the world. Like, there's people on that list of the names I just read who are fucking rotting corpses in the business. They're like so bad for morale just based on their existence and in the company. And it's like they shot themselves in the foot just by even sending that out. It's just a mess. Yeah, it's true. Eric Roza, they're basically saying that Eric Roza stepped down. I don't believe it for a fucking second. I think in the easiest way to say it is that he fired Dave. They felt so much fucking pressure from social media that they had to get rid of Roza. Maybe if you want to think of the chess plan that, you know, Souza was just speculating, maybe this whole thing's been played out like 6 moves in advance. You know, first they tell us he has mental health issues, then they fire Dave, then they get rid of both of them. But I hope you're joking. I hope this is a joke. Guy saying Roza got a promotion.
They're gonna spin it that way for sure, but you got to realize that is not even close to the truth.
That's retard talk.
Yeah, it's just a framework, and I wouldn't even be surprised if big speculation here, just my opinion, only my opinion, that the Make WODs Great Again guy is kind of in the cahoots because of his audience size, that he could kind of shift a little bit of the community there into how they're framing and thinking about it. He was also big on the mental health thing too. He was one of the top comments that said, "This is the leadership we need." When that thing came out about Roza's mental health.
Well, that guy locked himself in a basement during all of COVID. That guy believed the COVID scare.
And you said something earlier that I just want to touch on because something came to mind. You said, I hope maybe the new CEO that's coming in will release the stuff on the NSCA case. And the only thing that comes to mind.
He can't, by the way. After I said that, I was like, oh, he can't.
Yeah, but the only thing that comes to mind is a song by The Who called Won't Get Fooled Again. And there's a line in there that says, the new boss is the same as the old boss. And that's all that is. It's just going to be a figurehead that'll go in there that'll say yes to whatever the mysterious board is pulling the strings on. So also, just to make it clear too, when major
which goes back to what I was saying. Do I feel good about Roza being gone? Not in any healthy way.
Right.
Not in any healthy way.
And the main thing that people have to realize here is that there's only 2 outcomes for the people that purchase CrossFit, right? They're either going to sell it to another company so they could make a return on their investment, essentially a buyout, or there'd be an IPO, meaning a public offering, right? It would go on and you could buy shares of it.
What was the first option you said, that they might sell it?
They would sell it to another company. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much the 2 main goals of any like private equity or venture capital, right? Like they're just going to buy a thing to make a return on that investment. And when you buy something of that size and you spend $200 million on something, it's really tough to make a big enough return on that investment that makes it worth your time, right? Like you don't want to spend $200 million, 201 back. You want to
Wait, you broke up. Say that again. You don't want to what? You're breaking up.
I said, you don't want to spend $200 million to get 200 million one back. Right. Like you need to have some sort of the buyout has to be, or the return on investment has to be big enough to matter. And I don't think there's going to be an IPO involved because the structure of the company would have to change so drastically in order to make that happen. So then you just have to ask yourself like, okay, what is the optimal outcome for the investors? Because if we know what the optimal outcome for the investors are, then we could reverse engineer their game plan as to who CrossFit's customer is. And that's the biggest question is like, who is their customer? And who are they selling to? And what are they selling?
The biggest challenge right now at CrossFit Inc. is going to fall on Gary Gaines. He's going to have the most. I mean, basically, every time something like this happens, the hive gets disturbed, right? So now there's this disturbance in the hive, and my advice to him, not that he's asked it, not that he gives a fuck, but he gives a fuck. Is utilize Nicole like you never have before. Like that's what I would do. I was never particularly Nicole and I had a weird relationship. I wouldn't say that we were close because we did a lot. I don't know if Nicole ever liked me or trusted me, and I don't know if she respected me, but I respect the fuck out of her. She's an amazing orator. She knows her shit. Bring her close. Like, I don't have the integrity that Dave does. Part of me wants to, but I also like, you guys don't make the same mistake you made with Dave. Like, you fired Dave. I really want to emphasize too that was just failed leadership. He's an amazing talent. It's like having a gun that has too much kick, but it's the only one that can kill the elephant that's threatening the village. But so you throw the gun away because no one can hold it. No, get stronger. Get leadership that's stronger, that can manage people like Dave. I don't think necessarily Nicole's as big of a handful as Dave, but she does have crazy integrity too. Like, bring her fucking close and use her to fucking manipulate and calm down the affiliates. She's a world-class orator, but she's soothing. She's a soothing human being. She's powerful and she's soothing. So I think Gary's going to have, and I know Gary's a good talker. He's going to have a massive challenge on his hands settling down the hype. The second thing is my advice to you is abandon, and I said it before, abandon everything that's not necessary and get the media team fired up again. It's just like how you raise kids. So when my kids do something bad, I don't give them attention, because even when you give negative attention, kids will keep doing it because they just want attention. They're alchemists. They can take energy and just transform it into just useful energy. What you want to do, you can beat a kid and they'll be happy. They got attention. So what you want to do is you want to treat the affiliates like children. Any one of them that's doing something great, reward the fuck out of them. And do that with media. And I don't mean a fucking article. Like, no one wants something written about them. Send fucking Michael Koslap or Dalton or someone over there to put a camera in their face and show that, like, and it can be for any stupid shit you want to do. You want to fucking reward affiliates that are only working with dudes who've had their penises turned inside out and their chicks? Do it. I don't give a fuck. Reward, like, that's your fucking thing you want to do? Do it. And drop all the DEI shit. That's all gonna backfire. That shit's all coming to an end anyway. And the sooner you get out of that nonsense, the better. That shit's going away. No one cares about that. Hello, caller. How are you?
What's going on?
Hey, just getting on my high horse. Hold on, let me get off my horse.
Let's get that ladder.
All right. So I'm trying. So I was actually on your guys' live at Wadapalooza, Matt, because I was behind you. Me and my dad met you. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We're the brothers, quote unquote, because he doesn't eat sugar and does CrossFit.
Yes.
Yeah, awesome.
So listen, I'm opening an affiliate this year. I'm so pumped about it.
Congratulations.
Like, I mean, I've been addicted to CrossFit my whole life. I'm super excited to make it happen. But I'm torn with like everything that's going on. And like, I mean, I'm doing it because, I mean, I feel like it's up to the affiliates to carry on the torch with everything else that's going on. But I think it's important that, like, now that I'm going to be an affiliate, I start coming up with solutions rather than just bitching with problems and stuff. So, I'm also a PGA professional. So a little bit of background about PGA. We got 25,000 PGA professionals in the world. And very similar to like CrossFit Level 1, like they're the man. Or men and women. They're the people who like know the most about the golf industry, and their accreditation's higher than everyone else. And the PGA as an organization is actually a non-profit organization that is owned by the members themselves. Okay. The PGA Tour, or the people that you watch on TV, have no affiliation with PGA other than the tour license out the name PGA. So I think there is a possibility for CrossFit to hopefully do something like this, where the name CrossFit, the entity of CrossFit, is owned by the affiliates and they're ran by the affiliates, and you can just license the name CrossFit out to the game. Because I think that's the biggest issue, is the pull between the affiliates and the sport of CrossFit. Where if you I
hear you. I think the biggest problem with the affiliates is that I don't think that I don't believe that there's ever a way out of the problem It's circling, CrossFit is circling the bull, and I don't think there's any way to stop that. And by that, I mean, you cannot have consensus. You have to have a really fucking strong leader who believes back. If you want it to be what it originally was designed to be, it has to be incorruptible. And as long as there's people like that, as long as you set it up the way you're saying, it will still be corruptible. It can still be bought, like the Olympics, all that shit. It's like this. People are so naive. They think that it's a good idea to tax cigarettes because it reduced smoking. But the problem is that now the government is in bed with cigarette companies. They're now business partners. They're now owners of the cigarette companies. And just because you use the word tax doesn't make it any more truth or not true. It's just word fuckery and trickery. I hear you. I want it to work. But at the thought of the affiliates owning it, then all of a sudden, all the affiliates are going to be like, okay, we want it so every affiliate puts a Black Lives Matter poster up in their window. And then next week, it'll be, we want every affiliate to put a swastika up in their window. And anyone who thinks I'm crazy for making that leap, you are not fucking paying attention to what's going on. It's not a leap at all. Yeah. And so, that part concerns me. I don't try, like,
my biggest thing is, I mean, how are you going to get the best leader back in place? Right. And with Dave gone and Greg gone and all the OGs gone, the only OGs left are the OG affiliates, the original affiliates.
Right. Well, there's Nicole and Marsh. There's Nicole there, and their general counsel's a fucking great guy. I mean, I don't talk. I haven't talked to him since the day I've been fired. And I don't blame him. I wouldn't fucking talk to me either. I would wait till he gets fired, and then me and him can go have a beer. But there are some good people there. You know, Chuck Carswell there, Todd's there, Lisa Ray's there. I mean, there's people there who know.
And don't get me wrong. I had a great conversation with the Gary Gaines over there. And I mean, when I talked to him too, because I told him, like, I was just like, hey, I'm opening this affiliate, but like, I need to be convinced that I need to stay a part of this because I really want to be an affiliate. I want to continue. I mean, no matter what, even if I didn't affiliate, every coach in my gym would take the L1. Right, every single person would take the L1 because I just believe in the L1. They won't take the online version; they'll go in person and take the L1.
Right.
But I mean, to what they were saying though is they've significantly increased the staff that's helping run affiliates. They told me that they've hired like 60 more people to help the affiliates, like from that and I didn't know what it was before, but it sounds like they have a really big team now there to help the affiliates. But I don't hear people talking a lot about that.
Yeah, I mean, they can hire. They probably have. I've heard that they've gone on a massive hiring spree, and I've heard it's caused disaster within the company. When there's this guy who works for the Sevon podcast. He doesn't get paid any money, and his name is Will Brandstetter, and he does the work of what would take me $500,000 a year to pay someone to do. It's fucking nuts. He is fucking just amazing. And why does he do it? I don't know. He's a 22-year-old kid. He digs the podcast. He wants to be a part of something, and it's a place he can express himself creatively and explode. I was the exact same way when I came to CrossFit Inc. So was Mars. So was Heber. So was Jay Vera. So was Michael Dalton. Like, the work they got out of us because we had seen God through the, you know, I used to say that metaphorically, we had found God through CrossFit. We were unstoppable forces. We needed no direction, and we just crush it. The company's not like that anymore. So one of the things I think about when you have 60 people, like, they used to have a woman there who worked there named Paula Gravatt. She could do the work of 100 women and 200 men. And she's not there anymore. But like, I mean, I would let Matt, this guy, Matt Souza here with the black shirt on. Do you notice any difference since they've hired these 60 people for affiliates? Like, do you feel any better as an affiliate owner?
What they're going to help me with.
Yeah. So,
for them, they said that there's like, so like they're putting out what they called like the blueprint, right? Which is like helping you out with.
Yeah, which would be awesome if it was year one, or if I was considering it, or I just wanted some sort of outline. But when you're talking about a long-term affiliate owner, a 10-year affiliate owner, or just even a 2-year affiliate owner that already has a space, that already understands some of those things in there, then I mean, don't get me wrong. I think it's great, and it's great for like new growth and new affiliates that maybe are really passionate about CrossFit, but just aren't like business minded. It's awesome for that, but I just wondering what they're offering.
Isn't there
the best
isn't
customer.
there a statistic that the average CrossFit affiliate brings in like $3,000 a month profit?
I
mean,
don't know
that's
that
what
for a
I've
fact,
heard.
but yeah, that would
That's what I've
probably
heard.
sound
And
about
I mean,
right.
That seems high to me.
Yeah.
yeah, and so I mean, yeah, you're right. Well, so for me, I was like, hell yeah, I'm about to start this business. I need as much help as I can get, and my affiliate fee is gonna pay for this blueprint for them to help me out, and I got a whole team behind me to kind of. I'm like, oh, that's super exciting, and reasons why I would affiliate.
Right.
And even for your 10 years, because I know people who have gyms for 10 years who are losing money. They just do it because they like it, kind of thing, right? Like, but you're exactly right. I back to like the affiliates are the lifeblood of everything, because that's how we spread the word and all that kind of stuff. The other thing is, I'll put you back up under your high horse there, Swan.
Please, thank you.
The fact that people don't understand how impressive CrossFit level 3 trainers are is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting my master's degree right now in exercise science, and I'm doing it all virtually because COVID, and so I can do it while I'm working and all that kind of stuff. I tried for my L3 2 months ago, and I failed. And it was the most difficult test I've ever taken in my life, where I've taken all the NASM certifications and all that stuff through my master's program, right? And it's just like, whatever. It's just like definition question. But that test in itself is the most applicable education, where it's all situational. There's no matter how many times you read the L1 or the L2 and know it like the back of your hand, you actually have to be putting in the work to pass that test.
Yes.
Right.
It's unbelievable.
Yes.
It's unbelievable.
You have to live
just like someone who goes to law school, gets out of law school and passes the bar, they're not a lawyer. Just like someone who gets out of fucking police academy as a cop for a month, you're not a cop. That's why it's so stupid when people think they're being so clever. So what makes you think you can train if you've only done the 2-day course? First of all, shut the fuck up. Like, nothing in the world works like that. Nothing. Right. Like, I've been I crawled for fucking 13 months before I fucking walked. And then I have kids who are fucking world-class fucking kids, and my 7-year-old can still fucking barely run. And he's a fucking stud. So like, and he's been doing it now for fucking 6 years, and he still doesn't have running mastered. So shut the fuck up. Not you. But just these people who don't get, I'm agreeing with what you're saying. Hey, look at this stat, what Heidi said. This is the truth. Hiring 60 people at $50K a year is $3 million they're spending on these salaries. She's being very, very generous with her numbers, by the way, too. It's probably $100K a year and then another 50 for fucking health insurance and all that shit. But if they spent $3 million a year on new hires, what was your name again? Brian? No, Mark. No, Carol. No, John.
Me?
Yeah.
Thor? Yeah. Thor.
Oh, you kind of looked like a Thor. That's interesting. So Thor, if they would have taken, for $520,000 a year, you could pay these journalists to go out every week for 52 weeks for $520,000 and make them that's $10,000 a video and make the most insane media content. Promoting the affiliates. It would go on YouTube. It would go on Instagram. It would stay alive forever on there. And and these are things. I mean, we were fucking it up after they fired me, the whole thing went to shit. True story. Yeah. You can look at the metrics of when they fucking fired me and just watch the whole fucking thing take a fucking tank. Not just me, of course. I like to say it like that, but the entire media team. The whole fucking thing took a fucking tank. The only thing that we were shitty at CrossFit HQ was affiliate retention. Affiliate retention was really hard. Other than that, we fucking murdered it. We were spreading the gospel.
What do you think all these books are going to do for CrossFit here? Because
what books?
What do you think of? I mean, Morning Chalk Up just made another post about the Greg Glassman book coming out.
Oh,
thing, right?
Oh my God. I don't know if you want to get me started on that. That guy's such a piece of shit. That guy better fucking watch out. That guy fucking emailed me and said he emailed me and said, hey, I'm work at the New York Times, something like that, or I'm from the New York Times. I'm a reporter with the Times, and would you be willing to talk to me? And I wrote back to him and said something, I'm paraphrasing along lines, do you ever work with, and I forget the girl's name, but a girl did a hit piece on Greg, and I got fucking smashed in it. And I said, do you ever work with this girl? And he said, no, I don't actually work at the Times. I just have written for them. So now, like, the truth is coming out a little bit more, right? I don't respect anyone who worked for the New York Times, just like I don't respect anyone who went to Harvard. I think you're a piece of shit, actually.
Listen, I had a countdown on my phone for January 1st because I thought you were going to get Greg on the podcast.
I'm sorry.
I don't know. I don't know.
I asked him again yesterday.
Happened.
I asked him again yesterday. I apologize. I know. Clickbait. Throw me in the pile with Craig Ritchie. Clickbait. So then basically, so I never responded to the guy, but I'm 99% sure he hasn't spoken to me, Dave, Nicole, or Greg. And how could you write a book about CrossFit if you haven't spoken to all of us or at least one of us? And for Morning Chalk Up to play that, it's just.
Listen, it's a great story. No matter what, even if it's a wrong story, it's gonna be a great story. I mean, I can't. Yeah,
I want to tell you about Thor. I want to tell you about my 15-inch dick. It might not be 15 inches, but it's a fucking great story.
Listen, that's the best part about CrossFit is how great the stories are. So this month, me and my buddies have a challenge. We're doing every girls workout this month, right? And I made a post about it, and I put in there like why they're called the girls workouts, because in tribute to like national hurricanes are named after girls, and Greg thought that this workout hit you like a storm, so he named it after girls. And then my comments came flooded in with like a bunch of different stories they heard, but there's just a million great stories like that around CrossFit.
Yeah, well, I think the real story, is like any good girl, you should be left on your back when she's done with you. I think that was the
looking up at the stars, like right.
I think that is actually the real story.
Happened. Yeah,
mine's, but again, it's a good story. Mine's just the PC version of that story.
Right.
Dude,
hey, maybe they're bringing Greg Glassman back. Maybe. You know what? Maybe they have. This is actually, speaking of story. This is what I heard. I heard that they have Greg Glassman and Matt O'Keefe in a room right now, and they're interviewing both of them to be the next CEOs of CrossFit. That's actually what I heard.
God, that's a great story. I don't know how true it is, but it's a great story.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. I'll let you guys get back to it. Appreciate you taking the call.
Okay, bye.
Thank you.
Was that too long? 14 minutes.
No, it wasn't long. It just kind of like I actually wrote down all the kind of open doors we have here from things that we opened up, and so it just puts a little pause on them. And I don't know if we even want to hammer down our exact close each door, so to speak. But
no, fair enough. Bring up anything you want, Souza. Are you talking about the CrossFit book? Same Instagram? No, this fucking these goofballs at the Morning Chalk Up. This. Man, just sell that thing already. Justin, just go climb off onto an ice rock and build an igloo and go away, dude. You hate your life. You hate the people you work with. You put out just stuff that's misleading. It's just like, just stop. How do you sleep at night? Are you talking about the CrossFit? And I'll absolve you of your sins, Mr. LaFranco, just for 100 burpees. Just go do 100 burpees and start over.
Live,
are you talking about the CrossFit book the same as the Instagram handle? No, there's this other one that LaFranco was publishing on his blog or whatever you want to call that thing.
So one of the things that I want to touch on real quick was actually a comment that was up there when we kind of opened the door to like what's the ultimate goal of Berkshire Partners and what they hope to do with CrossFit. And somebody said, like, I'm a 10-year affiliate and we don't know who owns CrossFit, and that's upsetting. That was a comment that we both had put up there. And then somebody came back and said, Berkshire owns it. A simple Google search determines that. Yeah, but dude, that still means nothing. You have to understand, unless there's one individual in charge and that we could hold accountable and that could give us the vision and direction, you've also just said nothing. We already know what
Google also says there's a pandemic. Do you know what a pandemic means? Google also says.
So it just is very vague. The other door we kind of had opened here was like just staying in the same line here is the ultimate goal of CrossFit and the investors in CrossFit, which we basically determined there's only two options when something like that happens with the amount of money that was put into it, which is either an IPO. I don't think this is very likely because that would have to change the whole entire business structure of CrossFit, and I don't know how viable that option is, but again, I'm sure there's people out there smarter than me that could probably articulate that. And then the other option is to sell it, right? But then if they build it up and they sell it, what exactly are they building up? And then what exactly are they selling? And then once they sell it, Is it just going to be bought so that way it can continue to just cash flow for the new investors, or are we going to see a whole replay of this again? Right. So both options aren't necessarily optimal. And then this coming here, Ryan Payne managed CrossFit for, okay, perfect. So again, we have a shadowy figure. We have no leader. We have no direction. We have no vision. And therefore, we still are right back where we started. Although, thank you very much, Jake Kelly, for letting us know that. And Savon, I'm sorry, I just pulled away your comment and I.
No, you're good. You're good. No. I'm messing with stuff. I'm messing with stuff back here.
Okay, but just closing the door on that one, and then also too, the question is for the community of CrossFit, like how long are we going to accept these partial truths? I'm not going to call them lies because it's not necessarily a lie, but how long are we going to accept the partial truths? How long are we going to accept the, hey, this is where we're going. Oh, it's actually where we're not. Hey, this is who's in charge. Oh, they're actually not. Until we actually want to hold somebody accountable.
And then here's the CEO that stepped down, and he fired the most ethnic person on their staff, Dave Castro. For those of you who've been to the ranch, why don't you send a letter to HQ and be like, that motherfucker is Mexican as they get, right? And you replaced him with this giant white dude. And I have no problem with giant white dudes. They're like some of my favorite dudes. I love a giant white dude. My best friends in life is two giant white dudes, Jeff Holman and Chad Wolf, two of my best friends in life, giant white dudes. Love them. Love a giant. I love making a movie, John Wellborn. But it's bizarre that this fucking guy, this white Jewish dude, comes in riding the DEI cock and then fires the most ethnic dude on the fucking board and replaces him with this giant white dude.
Wait, is that what that Morning Chalk Up says? Is Justin CEO?
No. It's head of the games. It's head of the games. It's just fucking bizarre. No, this is just something totally different. This is what the Morning Chalk Up came out with. I kind of want to read it, but I think it's just going to upset me because it's going to be just more fluff and nonsense.
Yeah, we'll read it and then still not know anything at the end of the article.
Yeah, so I probably shouldn't read it. And I'm tempted to go over and look at that and show you guys the article about the CrossFit book, but it really should be its own show. Like this.
Yeah. I wonder too, like, you
guys have to learn to think. More people need to learn to think. Like we're not sitting here saying that we don't know who owns CrossFit, and then you're like going over Googling it and it's Berkshire, and like you're like, what? Oh, you idiots! Like, come on, guys.
That me.
Yeah.
Going back to the DEI Council, I think it's important to know that everybody that is on that one, like we had talked about before, is there's no personal attack. I'm sure I haven't, met all of them, but the ones that I have met that are on there, which was just very brief, is they're super great people. And I don't necessarily think that there's anything wrong with what their intentions were. But I think almost me personally, and the way I view it is it's almost slightly insulting, because what you were saying to me as an affiliate owner is that I was inherently doing a bad job of being inclusive. And how would you know that unless you came into my gym? And how would you know that unless you saw the way we treated the people in the gym, in the community? So for me, it's more or less like, so what is that saying? Are we saying at large the affiliates were doing a bad job of this? And then if they were, and you were an asshole and you were somebody who, acted that way towards people and had certain prejudice, then your affiliate would just bomb and tank. The market would decide that you're terrible and nobody would show up there. So I'm just wondering what exactly the initiatives are from that. What is the hope? And then how do I, as the affiliate owner, not kind of look at that and say like, man, well, what is that saying about me and the hard work that I put in to make my gym the most welcoming, opening place? And in fact, we have one of our standards on there that says community. And then the words that I have behind it, so we could put a definition, is come as you are. Come as you are, whoever you are. When you walk in this door, regardless of anything else, I just want you inside so we could work on your health. Because unless it's about thrusters and squats, and we're talking about how we could better your nutrition, then the rest of the stuff is your personal choice, and I accept you as how you are. The only way you're going to get pushed out is if you're disrespectful to others in the community, or you're disrespectful to somebody on the coaching staff.
They don't ask you at CrossFit Livermore what your gender is, because they don't care. They don't care if you're a boy who his whole life wanted to be a girl. They don't care if you're a white man that wants to only sleep with black girls. They don't care whether you're a Jew who resents their own Jewishness, or you're a German who has guilt for killing Jews. They don't care.
Don't care at all.
They actually hope you'll have a moment to get away from that noise. That's what they want you to do. They want you to they want you to have a moment to actually just be happy and get away from yourself. No one cares. And if you do go to a gym where they do care about that, just switch gyms. That's just life.
Exactly.
That's life. I've sat down. I mean, let me tell you something. On an airplane, nobody wants you sitting next to them. So anytime you're not on an airplane and you're somewhere else and there's at least one person that's okay with you, think, oh, at least I'm not on an airplane. Nobody on your Southwest flight wants you sitting next to them. I mean, unless you're just hot as fuck.
Everybody wants the whole aisle. Also, too, I want to note that another thing that I
just realized what a lie that was. If you're a super hot chick, everyone wants you to, like, even other chicks want you to sit next to them.
That's true.
Oh man. I'm trying to think of like, oh, what's a good CrossFit girl for that?
Another thing that we have is respect.
Like, imagine Tia Toomey. She just worked out and she got her hair in a little ponytail and she's traveling without Shane, which is probably unheard of. And she sat next to you.
I'd let her have the armrest.
Yeah, fuck. She could have my fucking scone.
And another thing we do is when we talk about respect, which is one of our core values at the gym, it's important to know that it's the old kind of saying is like, you need to earn my respect, is not the way that we do it. Everybody gets respect that walks through the door. Now, you could lose it based on your character and based on the way you behave and treat other people, but it starts with you just having it, just because you did the hard thing of showing up and walking into the affiliate, because we all know how intimidating that is to do for the first time. So some of these initiatives are all, although well-intended and put together with wonderful people, I just really think that we have to ask, like, what exactly are we doing it for? And what exactly are the actionable strategies that are taking place? And then how and who does this benefit?
And it shouldn't be heavy. You want some brothers in your gym? Get some brothers in your gym. You want more girls in your gym? Get more girls in your gym. You want more fatties in your gym? Get more fatties, and don't make it heavy. You want more old people in your gym? Have fucking senior hour. It doesn't have to be heavy. It doesn't have to be like, it doesn't have to be against white people. It doesn't have to be against, we don't have to be like, there's too many black girls in this gym. We got to like put a limit to them. Like it doesn't have to be heavy.
Just go out in your community.
And if the white guys are afraid of black girls and that's why they're not coming to the gym, it's their fucking problem. But don't make it heavy. It's not a big deal. Get whatever you want in your gym. Get it. Yeah. I would love to have a lot of gay Asian dudes. I think that's a really wealthy, clean demographic. If I ran a gym, that's what I would. I don't think they pee on the floor. I think they pay their bills on time.
But yeah, like you said, if you're seeing something missing, be the advocate in your community, not by putting together symbolism in these different initiatives, but by actually going out into your community, reaching out to the people who you think need it most, and doing the good work that needs to be done. If you're an affiliate owner, you have that power. You don't need anything from HQ to show you the way. Go out there, get into your community, and help those people that need it.
If Margot had a bottle of wine, she could sit on both sides of me. I'd stand. She could have the aisle. Just bring a bottle of that wine. She owns a winery, right?
Yeah, she does. Yes, she does.
So in a nutshell, as we wrap up here, basically what we found out today is that Eric Roza has we don't know the truth, but he's no longer in the position of CEO. I believe he got fired. I think that the pressure from firing Dave was too much, and those woke motherfuckers didn't stand by it. And I don't think their problems are over unless they take super duper drastic actions. I think that basically, like the metaphor I said, it's a sandcastle that's been built too close and the tide is rising and it's going to take it back into the ocean. So yeah, larger bodies. If you want more larger bodies, yes, Athena, larger bodies. If you want more larger body people, then just get more larger body people. Yeah, perfect. And that's where we're at right now. We don't know who's replacing him. I don't think. It seems like it was a pretty drastic move that's been done pretty fast, which makes me think that it was forced somehow. If they were doing this on their own terms, they would have had a replacement for him already. So there's definitely some stuff going on that we don't know. But I do believe, just from the way this works, that whatever that, I don't think they're playing chess. Although Souza has throw out some ideas out there that maybe they are playing chess, that this has been planned since Souza, since Roza said that he had some depression or some mental issues, that they've known all of these steps were going to unfold like this. Souza's not saying he subscribes to it, but he put it out there as a possibility. I just think what happened is Roza just fucked up, fired Dave, and thought it was going to be a good idea, and it's not a bad idea. And now he got too much heat, so then he's been fired. And I don't think whatever he's going to be doing, I don't think he's going to be doing CrossFit shit. I think the whole thing is misguided. I think they're going to try to get away from him as fast as they can. But those are just my beliefs. Yeah, did Roza mutually agree to this? We'll never know, because we know they don't tell the truth over there. So,
at least not the whole truth.
do you think Nicole and Adrian and others fought back after TDC firing? These people are like people, and it's more than just Adrian and Nicole. Let's say there's 20 of them over there. Like, they've worked basically so close with Dave, and Dave has worked so close with them. They've basically grown up together for the last 10 or 15 years. And so, and I do think that they were naive in the fact that when they got rid of Dave, it's like cutting off an appendage of those other people's. Like that this thing is so tightly woven. Like, we weren't just employees there. We were family. Like, we were like we knew everyone's kids there. You know, you were there when a guy got too drunk at a party and peed his pants, or you were there when so and so got the phone call at a dinner and their mom died. Like, we know everything. So and they work so close together. I mean, I've seen basically Chuck and Adrian and Dave and a ton of those guys have fucking fought and wept tears while building the games. And I don't say that as a metaphor. I mean, actually, like, fought and wept tears together and gone through crazy stuff. Yeah, it's they got a problem over there. They're trying to pull apart a family, and then it's nuts. I don't envy what they're doing, and I feel sorry for the board because they bought something they don't know what it is. No one should have ever bought this from Greg. Nobody, unless it was just one person who was just like really going to be like, okay, I'm going to do this with it.
Mm-hmm.
But this isn't a company. All right, had fun, guys. The second I know more, I'll let you know. Thanks for all you tuning in. Peace and love. YOLO is a bot. Yes, YOLO is a bot. Thank you, Jason. I finally figured that out too.